Greetings, watchers. We're looking at the forest. The forest was created by End Night Games, and it was released back in 2018. So it's getting on a bit. They kept updating it for a little while. I think the last update they gave on the game was in September 2019. I think they did a VR version or something. Then after that, it was a bit quiet. And then they did Sons of the Forest. They released that in, was that 2024? And they haven't really done anything else. I've been coming back to the forest for a couple of years, this game. I find it relaxing to play. And, you know, you just feel like you never have to be in a rush to complete anything. Nice aesthetics, it looks nice, you know. It's a good little number. So all I'm doing in this is really just showing you what I've created so far within the game, so that newcomers to the game can get a general idea of how to put something together. Mine isn't the right way or the wrong way, you know. You guys can do whatever playthrough you want to do of it, but I just wanted to show you mine. It's split up. It's going to be split up into different parts, this series, because it takes a long while, as I found out, to get through different bits, different aspects of the game. So yeah, so this will be part one, and there'll be other bits to follow. Yeah, I've done the actual in-game days. I've done 373 days in this game. For anyone watching it, yeah, just watch it, just play through it when you've got a bit of time and just watch what I've been doing, and if you can learn anything from it, that's brilliant. But yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I've been playing this a while. I've got camps all over the place. Let's just kill this little piggy, because we could do with a bit of meat. So let's get our simple spear out and see. I'm a bit rusty at this, but yeah, we got him. Right. So let's get me spear back. Let's get the 2 steaks. I think he gives 2 steaks for killing a boar. Yeah, I call them pigs, but they are boars, and they're really moody little. Oh man, they get you when you least expect them. They nudge you and take down your health a little bit. But you know, as part of the game, that's you surviving on a crazy island, basically. So you know, you have to put up with the wildlife. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill up my canteen with water, because if we're going wandering around, we are going to need some water. I'll get my normal spear back in my hand just in case anything happens. So yeah, I've been playing this on and off for a couple of years, and I've built these various camps around the island and stuff. And I thought I'd just go through, for anyone starting out in the game, I just thought I'd go through a few things about what I usually do to get myself established, because you can end up, if you don't get your stuff sorted and get yourself some protection, you can get into some trouble. You know, the islanders aren't very nice, and in this game I'd say you're equal to them, you know. They can kill you just as easy as you can kill them. But the problem is they're in groups and you are on your own. So, you know, you have to be sneaky. I like building loads of traps and stuff. Like, let's got this little rope ladder a minute. And I'll show you over the wall. So I've built this blooming great wall around this camp. It's quite a big camp. I always like to go as big as I can. It is really boring building it. The wall around this took ages to build. But, you know, once it's built, you've got all this space inside to do whatever you want. And my next step really with this game is experimenting building buildings, because you can build luxury huts and stuff and all sorts of things. As I've been establishing really safe camps where I can get to at night, where the locals can't kill me, basically. So I've around this perimeter wall. Oh, look, I like this little animation in this game. If you stay still long enough, the little birds will come and land on your wrist, which is quite a nice touch. You can see where I'm pointing my spear at the minute. I've built some traps down there. I think they're called happy birthday traps, and they're good for catching the islanders when they're sneaking around my perimeter wall. But you can build other traps, but that's my favourite trap to build. You need a couple of ropes, a few logs, and you're well away. So I'm going to go around the perimeter, the interior perimeter of this camp a minute, just to show you. So this is the bottom level. This is on 2 levels, this camp. There's a part of it is up in the snow. So you have to change your outfit. At the minute, I've just got me normal stealth skin on with a couple of bone armors just to, you know, get me by. But when you go up there, you have to put your warm suit on. Otherwise, you start getting cold and it zaps your energy bar down here and stuff. So it doesn't do you any good. Like in real life, you know, you just freeze to death. So, yeah, this is the bottom bit. I haven't really done much. If you sit in a chair in this game, if you manage to build yourself a chair, you sit in it, and your energy bar in your right-hand corner there, if you're low, it'll revitalise you, which is nice. I'll have that stone. I must be out of stuff. I think you can carry 10 stones or something. But in this game, you're better to pick things up while you're in safe zones and get all your bits together than do it out in the forest, because you guarantee as soon as you start trying to do something, the blooming islanders will come along and try and chop you up. So, yeah, so this perimeter wall goes all the way around. Now, bear in mind when you build any walls in this game, the islander dudes, they can climb up the trees. They're agile, man, and they can jump from tree to tree, which means they can jump over your wall. So, if you have any perimeter... Sorry, I'm just testing out I haven't played this for a while, and I forgot some of the things on how to duck and how to move around. Yeah, they jump from tree to tree, so that means they can jump over your wall. So you're better off outside your perimeter of your camp to chop the trees down, so they can't jump over and into your camp. And also as well, you have to plan your walls as well, because if they're on inclines, you can use the incline to your advantage to jump over the wall, which means if you can jump over the wall, they can. But anyway, so that's my lower bit down here. I haven't really built much in this camp yet. You see, it's getting cold because we've gained a bit of elevation there. So let's put his warm suit on. Where's my spear gone? Seemed to unarm my spear then when I put my warm suit on. So you go up here. There's nothing really up here. The reason I did this strange camp, now anyone looking at this will think, what on earth? Why have you built this camp like this? And there's a lake down there, right? And then you've got the next bit of wall, which you can just get around like that without falling down there. The reason I did it was, I had this really weird idea that if I left this gap here, I can run and jump and land in the lake and not, go away. I can run and jump into the lake and not die. As the islanders, they can't jump down there. If they jump down there, they'd die, I think. This little piggy, see, they're so moody. You can jump over them. If I find my jump button, that's it there. Little moody little bugger. Actually, let's do this run and jump right now. So you jump along here, la la la, and then die. I nearly cocked it up. But that's my idea, you see. So you can carry and throw things down there like logs. Instead of trying to get them over the wall, you can just chuck them all off of there and then collect them down the bottom here and build all your stuff. And you can also carry their bodies when you get one of them and kill the islanders. You can get the body and you can chuck it off there and get it down here and burn it and get their bones and make stuff with it. Lovely. So, yeah. So we're back down the bottom again. I've got my log pile there ready to build stuff. I've got some things over here. Drying rack. That's a turtle shell. You use a turtle shell to catch rain to get your water. They're just stick holders and stuff. You want lots of drying racks because you'll always be catching and trying to dry out food. Getting your steaks and fish and all the goodies. There's your little fire. You build these little lights. A little lamps out of a skull and then some sticks. But anyway, I didn't really want to go into how you go about building everything. I just wanted to go around the general gist of what you want to be doing to get started. Obviously, this is a giant camp and you don't want to be building this straight off the bat. Well, I didn't anyway. What I generally started off is, let's bring up the map. So it's not a very good map, but I started going around the perimeter of the map. I'm building just these little, you see these? Let's show you. This little hut here, when you build one of them, you can save the game at it. So I just went randomly around the exterior on the coastline, building loads of those, and a little fire, and a little drying rack, and as many of the water things as you can build as well. So your basic stuff, so you can go from camp to camp to camp to camp, keep saving it, and then if anything goes wrong, you can go back to your last save. Because if you have these few and far between, and something goes wrong, you have to go back. Say if you haven't saved it for half an hour, you've lost your half an hour of gaming, basically. So, yeah, that's the process. You want to build as many of those as you can. And then once you've got those established on the perimeters of the islands, then you can start venturing into the forest itself and try and go inland from where you've built one of these on the coast, directly inland, and then build another one inland as well. And then you get this network of save points and hopefully food and water and maybe a little lamp. But once you get that technique down of building little mini camps, once you've established that and got into the pattern of that, you'll find that building big camps is really, it gets a lot easier. So that's the basis of how I get started and get established. So yeah, we're going around the edge of my camp. You see, it's massive. I've got loads of stuff to do in this camp. I've got like a hell of a lot of space in here to do all sorts of things. Like I say, I haven't really been into I've been playing this game and more I've been adventuring rather than building buildings and things. So I think my next step in this game will be to do lots of buildings and stuff that you can build in the game, which I haven't really needed so far, really. These rope slides are fantastic at getting from A to B and getting away from the islanders if you can. But just be careful how you build them though, because if you build them too close to the ground or in the wrong angle, you'll hit the ground and fall off and it'll be a total waste of time. This one's successful. I'll show you. I'll get on this one and slide down it. And that'll show you the back end of the camp there. So you can go through a few tree branches without coming a cropper. You'll be all right. So I'll show you a disastrous. Right, so I built a rope slide. I'll show you what I mean by the angle of rope slides. So let's get back in the camp. Now, I'll show you an example of using terrain to your advantage when trying to get over stuff. So if you jump like that, you can get over a wall, when normally if you try and jump over that like that, you can't get over it. Right, so we go up here, and this one's not too bad. This just cleared the tip of that little ledge there. So that was all right. But this one over here, it took like 16, 17 ropes to build this damn thing. And then I built it and then found out, let's get on it. Let's get on it. Found out that, you get on this, you watch this. I catch the ridge of the hill and it knocks you off. And then you're stuck. When this was supposed to take me all the way down here to near the coast, it stopped somewhere down here. It was a really long, look how far it goes. It's kind of cheating really, serves me right for trying to cheat. But I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to dismantle it because it's absolutely useless. I think I'm going to do that now actually. Jab it a couple of times, I'm sure it'll... Will it break? Don't know. I've never tried to actually dismantle the rope thing. No, it's not doing it, is it? I'll have to leave it there. Oh, what's this? I can't work out what that is. You can collect berries, you can eat berries. Arm yourself with your pouch and then press A and it'll tell you. So they're twin berries, so you don't want to be eating them. They'll kill you. You can collect the nasty berries and make poison and everything with them and put them on the tips of your arrow and stuff like that. So that's that giant camp there, right? So I've got a whole ton of camps all around this island. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting this up, this content, because I'm not going to want to bore you with me just running from camp to camp. But I'll show you roughly each camp that I've got and what I've done with it and what level I'm at. And it'll give you some idea of maybe how and where to build your camps. So if we go back up to, what's that? That dude, he's dead. Let's pick him up. Let's go and put him on the fire. So you can cheat in this game a little bit. I found out if you stand against a wall and face the wall till the bee disappears and then come back slightly and drop the body and he floats up the wall, which is quite handy. And then you can get him inside your camp if you can get... I usually jump on top of this lamp to get over my wall here. It's kind of cheating as well. And then you can grab him like that, pick him up again, go and chuck him on the fire. So you can only carry 4 skulls at a time. We've got 3 skulls, so that's fine. So we can chuck him on. We've got to make it worthwhile. If he's going to die on the fire, might as well make it worthwhile. So let's chuck him on. I'm getting a bit hungry anyway, so I'm going to eat one of these steaks. Have one of them, because that little thing was flashing in the bottom right-hand corner there. So we've got him burning away. Now you have to be careful. When you chuck a body on the fire, it'll produce a load of bones, and there'll be one skull. And for some reason, the skull disappears way faster than the bones do. So you have to make sure you made the effort, you know, to get that body on the fire and get it burning nicely. Don't forget to grab the skull. And get in a really good habit of saving your game over and over again. So if anything goes wrong, if a mutant was to come tumbling over this hill now and kill my ass, I've just saved it, so I can easily step back and get going again. So yeah, you see there's the bones. So you pick up the bones, you can make all sorts with them. You can carry a few with you in your bag, or as my bag's overflowing now, I'm going to pop a few in my bone box. That is handy to have. I usually carry 5 with me. I think that's 5, so I can make bone armor if I need to, or any arrows. Right, so it's getting dark now. Now, what I did plan with this content of recording for this game, now when it gets dark, I get a load of glare on my screen and stuff, and I can hardly see it, and I don't know what my recording is going to be like on how much detail you can see of everything. So you can, in this game, skip the nighttime play. And I'll show you. Hang on, I'll just have a drink because my thing was flashing saying I needed to have a drink. In your little save hut, you see that moon symbol next to the A save disk thing? There's a little moon. Now, when that fills up and gets to the top, the blue X appears. And you press it and you can skip the nighttime stuff. But until then, you kind of have to make do with putting up with the dark. So in normal play, you go around your camp, you know, seeing what maintenance you can do or see if you want to build anything. But generally, trying to travel at night between your camps until you're well geared up and really know what you're doing, I'd avoid going out in the dark. Because the islanders love it at night and they cruise around in their packs. Sometimes they're on their own, just one of them, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. But you guarantee if you're out at night, they'll come and get you. So yeah, we'll wait till this is filled up. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can show you in this camp that is useful survival stuff. Yeah, you can build. So you can build these little birds' nests. If you can see that, the silhouette. You see how dark it is? It doesn't really... Oh, that's better. If you get your little crafting book up, you've got all sorts in here. And if you build a little bird's nest, and then you go back to it every now and again, you can get feathers from it. I think it's, if you leave it long enough, it's 10 feathers every time you visit it. And that'll make your arrows for you. And then, what else was I... Well, it sounds nice. Did you hear that? The islanders are screaming. And then this is your sap collector, if you can see that in the light. Now, the bowls are a little bit harder to come by to make a sap collector. I will shout out as I'm travelling around this island. I'll shout out where you will get them from. But if you click the A button, it'll in the bottom left-hand corner. Then it flashed up that you got 6 saps. Now, sap is really useful for crafting things. So I have tree saps. I have 3,913 of the little buggers. So I can craft loads, man. So you can make all sorts with sap. You'll find that when you're making stuff, it's always calling for sap. So try and get your sap things planned quite well, because sap comes in very useful. Right, so you see, our moon has now become a full moon, and we can press the X. And what it does, it speeds through the night. So now you're next day, but you're also starving. So whenever you do that, make sure you've got food close by. So we'll have another steak. Nib that down. Lovely. We'll have a bit more water. And that'll put us up to full fuel. So we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a couple of steaks for our journey. There's a couple of dry ones on here. I'll have the both of them. In my storage bag, I've got 2 dried rabbits, a couple of dried lizards, there's the fish and the steaks and stuff. So lovely. So what we'll do is we'll go along. Where's my next camp from here? I'm just trying to think where I've built them. I kind of got them dotted all over the place. I try and build some camps as well. You can go into caves in this game. So I like to build camps outside the caves as well, which can come in very useful for having supplies outside a cave is quite good. So let's get going anyway. We'll head down to this coast down here. Now, generally when you're running around in this game, now I play with an Xbox controller, so I hold my right stick down and it puts you in crouch mode. You crouch and then run along. And then you're less likely to be spotted by them. And also, I've still got my warm suit on. Your warm suit isn't as camouflage as stealth armor. So I like to arm myself with some stealth armor. I usually do, I think, 6 and then 3 of the bone armors. And that gives you quite good stealth. So hopefully the screen isn't too dark and you can actually see something. So really quickly I'll get my map up. You watch, the second I get my map up, the islanders will all appear and try and do me over. But we'll get the map up. So we're right where that, you see where that pin is in the top left hand corner? We're right in that corner up there. So I'm going to make our way down that left hand side, the west side of the island. And I'll try and show you where I've put camps up and stuff like that. But like I say, I'll mostly cut and chop. Unless there's anything exciting going on, I'll mostly cut and chop the content. So it won't bore you to death. It's an interesting coastline. There's always it's quite a nice, visually appealing game. Aesthetically, it's quite nice. So you can have a good look at stuff. These grass huts, every time you log into the game, in the grass huts, there's ropes that hang from the ceiling that are good to collect. You can only carry 4, but you can make them with cloth. If you go into your bag, see I've got how many cloths? 1,000 cloths. I think it's 6 cloths make a rope. So you can quite easily make ropes, but I like to reserve my cloths for the more important things. You can smash down these effigies. Now I haven't built this. They've built this to try and scare me off. Prod it with your spear and it knocks it to bits and you can collect all the odds and ends from it. Like I just got a bottle of booze from that, which will come in handy for making stuff. Right, let's get on. I try not to hang around too much in these places, so otherwise this video will be so long. Is there a rope in here? Yeah, you just see it up there. Some of them are quite well hidden in the roof. It's nice now. I built that. Scare the islanders off, hopefully. So yeah, we'll run along here. Like I say, try and stay in the crouch the majority of the time. Try and get in a habit of being crouched, because if you don't happen to see them and they're out of view, but they are there, they're less likely to see you. So you might as well, when you can, stay in crouch mode. So that's my 4 ropes now. You can only carry 4 ropes at a time and then you have to use them up. Yeah, you can actually run, but it uses up your energy bar on the right hand side and you have to wait for it to fill back up again before you can run anymore. It's like a stamina. And always bear that in mind when you're going at full pelt. In areas where it's safe, try and build your stamina up and just take it easy and not be in a hurry, because you'll always want your stamina to be there just in case the islanders turn up. Can you see these guys? Look, they've just appeared. Now they might spot me over here, but I'm quite a ways away and I'm also crouched down and I've got my stealth armor on. On the coastline, you can just jump in the sea. They won't follow you into the sea, but there is sharks in the sea, so you can come a cropper. They are heading this way, so I think what I'll do is I'm not going to fight 6 of them. It's just not worth it. They can run really fast, so be careful with these guys. If they're really close to you and you want to outrun them, run for a little bit, but then turn back and point the spear at them, because they will come and they will catch up with you. It doesn't matter how fast you're running. If they know where you are, they'll catch up. So I think they've headed off the other way. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think they've buggered off. So we can carry on along this coastline bit. Like I say, I'm still crouched down. Now, this is moving quite slowly. So, yeah, it does take you some time to cover the distance. But it's safer to travel crouched. Otherwise, they're going to spot you all the time. They've put a lot of their effigies around here to try and scare me off, look. But they're always handy, the effigies, because they're built with skulls, sticks, sometimes wine and cloth, which you always want to collect. Oh, there's a can of drink there, we'll have that. Can of Coke. Tennis balls. I've got tennis rackets and stuff, but I haven't worked out yet. I'll have to go and have a look online and see what you're supposed to do with tennis balls and rackets and whatever. What was that? Oh, it was a small rock. Yeah, where were these guys? They were hanging around here, weren't they? I have noticed in this game, right, that when you haven't got a big camp established, you'll find that the islanders, the cannibals, will spawn more in the areas where there's none of your camps. If you've got a small camp, they'll still spawn there. Now, here they are, look, they're just up the coast here again. I think I've got a camp somewhere up here. It's up on that ridge, actually, on the shoreline in the distance there. I want to get up there. Hopefully these guys will disappear in a minute, because I'm crouched down, so I doubt if they'll see me. Sometimes they hang around for a little while, and other times they move on pretty quickly. Like I say, as a last resort, I can just jump in the ocean and swim over there. Where my spear is pointing, that's about where I want to go with my... I think I've got a camp just there. I've got some micro camps dotted around in the forest up there as well, but I don't want to play around with them at the minute. To see if we can get round here. And I can show you some of the other camps, just to give you an idea of what to build, you know, with big and small camps. Because you don't want to be spending too much time building all the time. You want to go out into the forest and actually play the game and be stealthy, you know, without being spotted. There is ways of going out at night and still being okay, but you just have to get used to... What on earth? That is from one of the mutants. Ugh. A nasty little bastard. Excuse the swearing. You can chop their head off and put it on a stick as like an effigy thing to scare them off. But the worst thing about that, right, when you know these are around, that means there's mutants around. Now, you get the islanders, you can run away from the islanders and you can protect yourself against them. But the mutants are on another level of, you know, you have to be geared up and really ready to fight them if you have to. But majority of the time, oh God, there's another one. That means a mutant's around here somewhere. This isn't good. Yeah. If there's mutants around, I try and avoid them because they are so mean. I'm trying to see where he is. I don't kill the giant tortoises. I'd kill the smaller ones that are on the beach and make water carriers from them, but I leave these guys alone. I haven't killed one of these yet, and I don't feel the need to, so I'm going to leave him alone. So I've got a camp just down here, and the reason there's two camps down here actually, but be careful because yeah, there's some crocs around the edge because this is an inland lake. Is that a croc just here, or are they the big tortoises? Yeah, they're the big tortoises. So this is a little reserve spot, like I say, that is an inland one. And all it is a water carrier, a save point, which we'll save that. And I can hear a croc. Oh, there he is. Look, he was behind me. See the croc? Oh, there's another one there. They can shift when they want to, but you can get away from them pretty quick. You can fire a few arrows at them or a few spears and then collect their skin and make camo skins to help you to be camouflage. Now, I have got, where is it? I've got another camp up here. Let's just run up here real quick. Hopefully there won't be. Now, the reason this camp is just there, I built this one first originally because there's a cave entrance. Now, before I do anything, can you see there's a red cross with like a lump hammer? That means that it needs repairing. So tap it like that. Now, that happens because I haven't been at this camp for a while. So your camp gets deteriorated, so you have to fix things. And if you leave it long enough, there'll be nothing there. So the best bet is to go round. Does the fire need fixing? No, he's all right. Does the lamp need fixing? No. Oh man, there's another mutant. Yeah, they're like mutant babies, these things. It's the first time actually I've seen them like around without the mutant thing. You can hear the mutants a mile off. They make a big thudding noise and horrible squealing, screeching noises and things. Right, so yeah, I was saying the reason that camp's there is because up here is a cave entrance. Now, cave entrances can be really useful. I didn't go down in the caves when I first started playing this game because I didn't know how to play the game very well. I wasn't very good with my bow and arrow or anything. But one useful thing they're good for, if you mark the cave entrances with your skull lamps and save point huts, then if there's a whole load of the islanders around and they're chasing you, go in the cave. Press your A button, it takes you through, and I haven't had any islanders follow me into a cave. All the caves are different. You'll have a map system for the caves that you can bring up. It's not that great. You're kind of better off learning them off by heart. I take in, every time I go in, I gradually light the way up with lamps. But it's hard going in these caves. You get some different supplies, different things that you can build stuff with. I collected a watch there. You can make a bomb with a watch. That's another one collected there. But I'm not going to go into the caves on this. But that, like I say, they are a good place. See a blooming tennis ball. I've no idea why. But they're a good place to hide. So let's get out of here and get back on track. Let's go back over to the coast. So there's only a little bit of land separating this lake from the sea. But like I say, there's usually, watch out for the crocs around here and the islanders. They like to use this as like a little crossing point. But keep crouched down, keep your eyes out, make sure nothing around. Yeah, like I say, this is a nice game. If you're not in a hurry and you just want a game where you are just adventuring and building little bits and bobs and just surviving gradually, not in a hurry, I find it quite relaxing because there's not any, like there's no music in it or anything. You've just got the natural environment noises like the wind in the trees. When you're on the shoreline, you can hear the sea. Yeah, I find it kind of relaxing. Once you get into the game, you will find it hard at first. So this is another cave entrance just here. So yeah, you see you could get in there straight off. If you see a load of baddies come in, now have they spotted me? There's one guy. So he didn't see me. He hasn't seen me. Yeah, they've gone straight by. So we're all right. So you got a save point here. I've got the thing for me feathers. I'll collect some feathers. Over there is the big pit in the ground in this game. Some of the cave entrances, when you follow the caves, come out in the center of there, but I haven't done all that yet, so I'm not going to cover the sinkhole. I think they call it the sinkhole in this game. But yeah, so I've got my save point just here. A little mini one. Uh-oh. You see, they didn't spot me because I've got my camp. Or maybe he did. He's walking with purpose. So some of these islanders, some of them can move really fast. And some of them just waltz around taking their time. The fast ones are a nightmare. And the timing of using your spear and weapons, you have to play this game quite a lot before you get used to tackling them and fighting them. Majority of the time when you first start out, you just want to avoid these guys. It may take time avoiding. Sometimes you have to go a real long route, you know, to go around the baddies. But you can use these tents. They're randomly spotted around the island. I didn't put them there. They're left by whoever adventured here before. You can use them to save your game. There's odds and ends in suitcases. Excuse me. I've never seen that one there before. What does that say on there? Something gas? Huh. I've never even seen that. Moon gas. How weird. Of all the times I've been playing this game, I've never seen that. Anyway, stop going on about it. Get on with the game. So, yeah, another cave entrance here. The hammer symbols come up again, so that means you want to do some maintenance on your stuff. That one seems to be all right for some reason. The islanders do wreck your stuff as well on purpose. So always check, well, try, if you have the time, always try and keep up the maintenance with your camps. It's worth doing, because if you leave them, oh, what were them berries? Let's have a look and see what they are. They are twin berries. We don't want any of them. Right, carry on round here. Sometimes in these camps there's odds and ends left behind. It's always worth taking your time, having a good look round. That's one of their effigies that they like to build. I'll leave it alone because I don't need anything off of it at the minute. Like, I've got all my skulls. A couple of ropes in there if you needed them. So they do like to come out of the forest and come down this little bit down here, but I've got a camp, a mini camp up here on the, I think it's on the right hand side. It's starting to get dark again, which is a pain in the ass for trying to show people how to negotiate around this game. What I'll do is I'll get to this camp over here and then we'll wait for that moon to get its full thing and we'll skip the night. See, this is another mini camp. There's some little rabbits in a thing there. Oh, I've got to do some maintenance at this camp. I haven't been here for a while. I'll tell you what we will do. We'll save this really quickly. I've got a funny feeling I might be splitting this mini guide into a few sections because this is already dragging on. I thought I'd be able to whiz round. It's all my yabbering though. If I didn't talk so much. Yeah, let's repair that. So yeah, maybe I'll do this in a few sections. It might be a good idea. But yeah, if you're one of these people who like to learn by example, just watch my things. Just watch all that. I'll try and do a few of these of just generally how to play the game. Not any particular thing. It'll just be me playing it and trying to explain as much as I can while I'm going along. Save it again just for the pure joy of it. Right, we're nearly at a full moon, so we'll be able to move on soon. Let's collect some feathers. And that needs repairing as well. Or something does, that does. There we go. Yeah, the lamps tend to get damaged. There's a thing for collecting, for catching my rabbits. All you need is sticks to build one of those. I'm not going to, at the minute, I'm not going to go through crafting stuff. I'm going to say, you know, oh, that's there, but I won't go into how to build it and stuff, because you'll be able to get that from the crafting book shows you. Wrong button, Neil. I'll press another wrong button. There, come on, that's the one. Yeah, this crafting thing, it tells you to the left of each item in the little white squares what you need to craft each thing. Right. Come on, is the blue thing come up yet? No, not yet. See, plenty of I leave plenty of food at each of my camps. Well, I try to, so that I can stock up. How much have I got? I've got plenty of food. I'm all right. But yeah, always try and keep up your maintenance. If you need to leave food at camps, yeah, do it, because it's well worth spending a couple of minutes round your camp, making sure you've got reserve food there. So that's drink and food we've just had. I might take a steak off of here What have I got? Yeah, I haven't got any steaks. Actually, I'll take something from the next camp. So, as you can see, let's run over to the coast here so you can see. We're still on the coast. You see in the distance over there where I'm pointing my spear, that's where those grass hut things were and my other big camp. So we've only got this far. We haven't got very far very quickly. That's what I mean. I think I'm going to end up having to do this in sections. Otherwise, it'll be just a massive... It'll be a long playthrough to go all the way around the island. So, yeah. Now, there's some small mini camps up in these trees somewhere. Like I say, when you've played this enough, you'll get to know the terrain and recognise where you've put your camps. I always put a lot of lamps around my camps as well, so I can see them easier at night. Is this the same? Have I just come round in a circle? What the? No, that's another one, isn't it? I thought I was going mad then. Have we got a rabbit in here? I think we have. Let's catch this little rabbit. You want to press the A button and that repairs your rabbit trap. And then what you want to do is put your rabbit in you press the X button and it drops the little rabbit into there. Then you can save them. So yeah, this is a separate camp actually. I must have done this further down. So this is a cave entrance just here. So that's another cave entrance. They have these funny lookout towers on the coast. So these lookout towers, you can climb up them. And sometimes they have arrows for your bow and arrow. Let's just climb up it a minute so you can see. And you can get a good view of any baddies coming. No, there's nothing up here. Usually, sometimes there's the crossbow bolts for a crossbow. I haven't even found the crossbow yet. When I play games, I try not to cheat. I try and fully explore the game without going on the internet and finding out where everything is. But obviously, everyone has different play styles. If you're in a hurry to complete this game, get online and do all your research. You see, you can see the islanders coming. They might spot me up here, but I have got my camo gear on and I am crouched down. Yeah, so they didn't spot me. So they've just gone off into the distance. Sometimes if you're standing up and you haven't got much camo gear on, they will spot you. If you're lucky, you could maybe jump off and land in the water and you won't hurt yourself. But if you jump from there onto the land, you break yourself. So you can run along here. That's where my other camp was up there a minute ago. You've seen that up on that corner there. So you know what I mean now by mini camps. You know, there's a little save point. There's a little drying rack for food. There's a little water thing. So you can use them as quick stopping points. These cardboard boxes, they have circuit boards in them. Again, for crafting, I think you can... Yeah, you do. You make bombs for when you go... I use them for when you go down into the caves. So you can make a bomb to blow up the mutants. I keep pressing the wrong button for jump. Right, turtles. These guys, you collect the shell. So there's a turtle shell there, and then you can... Oh no, look at this lot. So they've definitely spotted me. I'll be very lucky if they haven't spotted me. In this case, because of how many of them there are. Oh man, they didn't spot me. Happy days. I thought they had. That was lucky. Yeah, only kill them when you need to kill them, because you can only carry one shell at a time anyway. But very useful for that. When it rains, the shell thing catches the water and gives you fresh water. So we'll leg it down here. There's some of these islands off the coast here. Let's swim over to one. So you can swim down in the water. Be careful on the coastlines. If you spend too much time in the water mecking about, it attracts sharks. And they will kill you dead. So, yeah, you get up on the islands. If you can make walkways over to the islands and stuff, they're a good place to build camps and everything. There's never much over on the islands, though. That's the problem. So you have to get all your gear over here. Whatever you're building, you'd have to work out ways of getting logs over here and all sorts of stuff. So, but a good place away from land where all the islanders are, where the cannibals are. So what I'll do is we will swim back inland. I find that if you swim on the surface of the water, it takes longer to do a distance of swimming. If you go down, I don't know why. You see a little blue bar, that's your oxygen and how much you've got. Yeah, if you go under the water, you'll find that you seem to go a longer distance. I don't even know what that is. I don't think I've ever been in that. Oh no, there's a shark. Right, you can see firsthand, see the shark just attacked me. I might die here because I'm a long way from shore. Oh no, maybe I'm going to get lucky. Come on. Oh man. Come on. I might make it. You see my red health on the right hand side, bottom right hand corner? So that shark took over half of my health. So we need some meds. So we'll eat some meds. And that'll gradually fill that bar up. But the sharks are lethal. If you're right out in the ocean, you're in big trouble. I have to remember that container's down there though, and adventure that container and see what it's got in it. It might have something good. These tree trunks and stuff and containers on the shoreline, they're a good way. Oh, there's some islanders over there. They're a good way of negotiating your way around the island. When you recognise these items on the coastline, you can work out whereabouts you are on your map. See the red pin now? We're down in the southwest corner now. I think what I'm going to do is I might pause this here because it's been going on for quite a while. I don't want these to be too long. So I'm going to do them in sections. And then it gives you the choice of whether you want to follow on along and watch what I'm doing. Yeah, look, they've spotted me, so there's going to be trouble in a minute anyway. So I'm trying to think of my closest save point, because what I want to do is try and save this. I think I'm going to run back. I've got a camp. Now, when I say about running, always turn round and look back, because they catch up with you real quick. And if they catch up with you too quick, like I say, just go into the water. But then, like I say, you've got the problem of the shark, so just be careful. I don't think the sharks are all the way around the island every time you go in the water. But they are definitely there. There's some more islanders down there near my camp. I should be able to sneak up over the top though. And all I need to do is save it. And then we can move on. Right. There we go. All right. So yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry it's drawn out. I meant to do a real speed like thing right around the island really quickly, but it's kind of hard to do that in this game because it's such a big map. So like I say, I'll split it up into sections. If you want to watch the whole series of me wandering around aimlessly in a forest, then awesome. I'll just gradually go through. In the end, I'll end up getting to crafting and stuff, but I just want to generally show you how to play the game, you know, and just take your time with it. It's an awesome game. It's really old now, but it's a nice relaxing game, easy going. Yeah, good bit of fun. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Maybe give me a subscribe. I'm a new user to creating content on YouTube, so I could do with appreciation. It lets me know that people like what I'm doing. Some people hate what I'm doing maybe, but you know, give me a thumbs up, just anything, even a little message, a comment, you know. Happy days. See you later, guys. Bye.